The Boss Capital channel. My name is Marketsurge. This is US market recap video for August 15, 2025. We have another up week on Nasdaq here. So we are getting towards the 19 weeks up right now. We have this really strong uptrend. We thought maybe the market would start to give up here, but then it did reverse and continue. And yeah, so we continue to make new highs. So looking at the daily chart again, we saw this pullback right here, pretty strong 2-day pullback, but again we were able to reverse here. Goes up to this new high on Wednesday. Tuesday was a very strong day as well. But Wednesday, yeah, it starts to come back down by probably midday or something. Let me check here. So here's the Wednesday. It jumped up pretty nice. It gap up, but then it start to close weak. And then Thursday we also kind of move sideways action here just a little bit. And then on Friday here we kind of close somewhere between like a little bit on the lower range. So yeah, Nasdaq right now is you can see the green line 10-day right here, and it looks like it's pulling back towards it. So we'll see whether it can hold. In the past you can see here it does ride the 10-day pretty closely, so this could be the same thing here, except this slope looks a little bit stronger here, right? Like this slope compared to this slope here. So it looks a little bit more steeper, just a little bit more. So looking at S&P weekly chart here, very similar. It also make new high, rebound from the drop 2 weeks ago. Also a very sharp V-shaped rebound as well. And right here we also see the 2-day pullback, very strong pullback, and then it was able to recover to new highs. This one actually looked, even better than Nasdaq because like it didn't really come down on Thursday. It was still like positive. But Friday it did reverse and close near the lows. So again, we're seeing this 10-day slope here. Here's the previous 10-day slope. Again, looks a little bit steeper, just a little bit. So on the intraday chart here, again, we see it's actually much stronger. You see, it didn't close that much weaker. And then here, we also didn't close that much weaker. Friday we did kind of close weaker though, so that's the only difference here. So here's Dow. Dow make a very impressive move on this week here. It bounced back really strong here after this 2 weeks ago the drop to the 10-day, no, 10-week line, the red line. And you can see we closed pretty much near the top for the week, and probably might be just slightly lower, 44946 versus the high here 45073. But I think it's so close that I think it's just a matter of technicality. But yeah, very strong movement for Dow here. Let me just check here. I think it was up quite a bit, 1.74%. So here's the daily chart once again. Let me just draw it here. So here's 45073, and it did like intraday it make a new high. It just closed slightly below that. So again, very impressive move. You can see here Monday it was down, but Tuesday was the big move right there, and it was came in at higher volume. And Wednesday it followed through, and Thursday it's trying to pull back, but you look at that, it just closed at the top of the range. So very strong close. And then Friday we break out to new high, and then it reversed by the end of the day, but it's still a positive day. Like a so it's still a good trend here. Now the 10-day slope is very strong right now for Dow. Let me just draw it here. So here's the green line. You can see the slope is pretty much 45-degree angle. Even so it's very strong. Russell, another index that make very impressive move this week besides Dow. Again, we are rebounding again. Here we see this week very strong week down 2 weeks ago, and then we bounce from there, and again we're able to make new high right here and actually close at a new recent high. It jumped up pretty high intra-week here. So on the daily chart you can see this big pullback here. This pullback was more severe than the other index, and then you see it tested the red line here, 10-week moving average. And again, Nasdaq and S&P never test the 10-week moving average. And then it bounced from here and trading really tight, couldn't pass it, and then boom, on Tuesday it was able to go through that line there. And then so on Wednesday it then followed through. Thursday give back quite a bit, but still able to close near the top of the range. But then Friday gave back a little bit more. But again, it's trying to hold the lows here as the 10-day is coming up. So here's the 10-day slope again, very strong slope, almost 45-degree angle. So looking at IWM here again, this is the ETF. We can see the volume is so strong on the move right here, and this is a very nice move. Like it spends so many days here, and it only took one day to come back up to the previous high, and then it make new high on Wednesday. So again, very impressive move. Yes, it did give back a little bit, but that's understandable. So we hoping this momentum will continue. So looking at the equal weight, this is Nasdaq 100. So we are seeing a little bit improvement from last week, because last week it was around here, this level, and we're able to close slightly above that this week, and also break through this resistance line here at the 10-day moving average. So this is telling us that maybe the rally will broaden again. But again, it's just too early to tell because it looks really good on Wednesday, but Thursday, Friday give back quite a bit. So again, are we going to see the rally broaden? We want to see that, and that's what happened on Tuesday and Wednesday. But again, Thursday and Friday it's falling back, pulling back somewhat. So we just want to see, whether this can hold, right? If that was a trap, then obviously it's not going to hold and it's going to break down. And if it breaks down, we'll probably see a newer like trend line low here at the bottom. So it could break that easily. So that's something to watch out for. Um, Personally, I did get back into the market quite a bit on Tuesday and Wednesday, and so we want to see if this trend line here holds. That is very important. If it falls apart, then yeah, we could have a bigger problem. So anything could happen. I just want to bring this up because just because we look good for 2 days doesn't mean this is a smooth ride. Now, so QQEW look not as strong, right? RSP looks a lot stronger here. You can see this is again S&P 500 equal weight. So we break through this line here on Tuesday, and then Wednesday it followed through here. Now Thursday and Friday again we see the same pullback here happening, and here's the 10-day line. So far it doesn't want to come down and touch it, so that's the positive side of this one. So anyhow, I just want to bring this up. So we are going to see the similar thing on the advanced decline line here. This is NYSE down here, this blue line. At the top is the index price, so we can see the index are new high for S&P 500. So what happened this week is we saw like Monday it dipped down a little bit. Last week actually going back for last week, the market didn't do well. The even though Nasdaq went up, sorry, S&P went up, the advanced decline line didn't move up as much. So then it dipped on Monday, but look at the Monday dip, it was so little. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, we saw a huge explosion of breath coming in, so more stocks are participating in this rally. But then Thursday and Friday, we kind of slide back down quite a bit. So overall, we're still up for the week. Again, so that's the positive. On the Nasdaq here, advanced decline line, very similar action. It dipped a little bit on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we explode quite a bit, and then Thursday, Friday give back. So very similar to RSP and QQEW, giving the same signal. All right, and here is the Innovator IBD 50 ETF. On the weekly chart, it looks pretty normal, pretty good momentum. We again we see the 2 weeks before we had a pullback here to the 10-day line, 10-week line, red line here, and then the following 2 weeks we continue to move a little bit higher. It's not it looks pretty normal reaction following this momentum, so that looks good. Here's the daily chart. Again, very similar. Actually, you can see it's been riding the rally here for a while now. Very strong rally. We see the green line at this line I just draw around there, and then we see the 21-day line just slightly below right there. And obviously we had tested the 10-day and 21-day many times. So again, it's just trading around this range here. Again, on Friday here we are seeing some pullback. You can see the low here, it make a low here this week. So that is slightly negative because it came back down quite a bit. But look at where it closed, right? It closed pretty close near the high of the range, so that's good sign. So this may be another rebound here, just like the previous pullback. So that will be good. And it hasn't made a strong high recently. Like kind of, it looks like if you look back like last 10 sessions, this day it popped out a little bit, but again we pull back. So it looks like it's just digesting, and maybe we can start to see more momentum again. And you can see the 10 and 21 day, the gap is so little. So again, they have caught up. So now we're hoping to see more rally from the growth stock side. This is the representation of the. So looking at the IB signal, they are still pretty much in confirmed uptrend, 80 to 100% allocation, so pretty much full allocation here. We did suffer distribution day on Monday and also on Friday. Pretty mild. Yesterday, I think S&P was down slightly, like just very slightly. I think. Let me just double check here. Actually, I have the notes. Oh, sorry, it was Nasdaq who picked up a distribution day. Yeah, it was down just slightly, 0.3%. Anyhow, the accumulation distribution side. This is the stocks number of stocks that I monitor, and based on that, there is way overwhelming accumulation in stocks this week, starting on Tuesday, Wednesday. Again, you see the number came down a little bit on Thursday and Friday, but overall for the week it was still up quite a bit. In terms of stocks that are up in higher volume. So on the distribution side, you can see a much lower, like 3-to-1 ratio. Again, Tuesday, Wednesday was almost like not much distribution there. On the industry group, very similar. You see the number of groups here also being mostly accumulated. On the sector side, we are seeing again pretty much across the board net accumulation. So more net accumulation. So this is net accumulation minus distribution, and that's how many stocks that are above. So we are seeing retail actually pretty strong here. Tech come back down to single digit. Industrial is okay, 20s. Health is pretty strong, 50s here. And financial also pretty good here, 40s. And commodities, energy, not much. Again, tech and energy are currently the lowest here. So here's the Investors Business Daily newspaper. Inflation came in hot here. Core consumer inflation 3.1% versus a year earlier. So that's a little bit problematic for the market. Then we have core goods inflation also turning positive, and possibly the tariff is now passing through. So right here you can see these good prices are starting to move back up a little bit. And then we have PPI, Producer Price Index, also shot up as well. So again, this could be a problem for the Fed because they're worried this should back up. So right now the market is pricing in pretty high that they'll cut in September. I think it's over 80% for sure in terms of the probability. But whether the market will be wrong, we'll see. And the big news is that this coming week is that we have the Fed will be speaking, giving a speech at the Central Bank Economic Symposium in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, on Friday. So that will be very important to see how the market will take it, and what is being interpreted, whether there will be a cut in September, because the market is highly expecting it. So we could see turbulence if he doesn't acknowledge any sort of cut at all, and that would be bad. Economic data, housing starts on building permits data coming out on Tuesday, and S&P flashy as service manufacturing PMI readings on Thursday. In terms of earnings, we have Walmart and Home Depot coming out, Lowe's, TJX, Armor Sports, and then Palo Alto, Intuit, and FN. So yeah, so earnings season is winding down. I'll be doing my growth stocks list video after this. Please follow that. There's a lot of stocks that already report earnings. I'm pretty sure like most of them have reported. So we're going through most of the list that have reported. Here we continue to see the 10-year came down, but it did bounce back Thursday, Friday very strong. So that's interesting. But overall, we're still seeing this downtrend here. So we'll see if it find resistance again as it come back up. It did find support near the 4.2 level. So, but the one area that strongly tied to interest rate is the home builders ITB ETF here, US on home construction. This one continue to make new highs. Very powerful move on Wednesday here, follow through as well. Thursday, look at how tight it's holding. Friday, I mean, it tried to move up, but it gave back a little bit. So this is a very strong ETF here that's moving right now, and so definitely the market is expecting some sort of interest rate cut in the future, and this is kind of leading the way in that sense, right? So the home builders area are coming back now after a pretty prolonged correction here, and the depth of this is 36%, and now we are pretty much more than halfway now back towards the high here, so looks pretty good. Another area doing well is XBI, in the health biotech area. This has really come out. This is a nice trend line broken right here. Closed very strong on the week, like at the top range. So here's the daily chart right here. Very powerful move. Wednesday broke out. Thursday, look at that. It doesn't want to come back down. And then Friday, we follow through with a new high. In my next video, we'll be going through a lot of the health stocks, so make sure you follow that video, and we'll see a lot of new names in the biotech area. Here's IBB, iShares, also moving up. Very similar ETF here. This includes like pretty much, yeah, all the biotech as well. Looking at the US dollar, it's just kind of not moving much. Trying to find support here at the red line. The 10-week moving average, it has come down, but it has flattened as well. So it looks like it's just getting a little bit stable around this price. On the oil front, we did make a new low on Wednesday before bouncing back a little bit on Thursday, and Friday it kind of got rejected at the 10-day line here, so that's not a good sign. So it looks like oil may be heading lower here. Here's gold price. Gold price also near the lows of recent days, so it is below the short-term moving average slightly. Silver, again, also very similar, just trying to hold near the short-term moving average right now, just not making too much of a move. And copper hasn't recovered much at all. Looking at the Bitcoin Grayscale ETF here, we tried to move towards Monday to Wednesday, was pretty positive, and then it did make a new high. I remember, yeah, the Bitcoin made a new high, but it then fall back Thursday and Friday very sharply on Thursday for sure, and then Friday fall through. So not a good sign right now. Here's the WenX Semiconductor ETF. Looking at the chips area. Again, 2 weeks ago we have the down week. It was able to rebound back last week, and then this week we actually make a new high before reversing and close near the bottom of the range. So on the daily chart here, we pretty much didn't make much of a movement. We came back down on Friday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was pretty good. But Friday, you can see it reversed, and now it's at the 10-day. We're looking at the mega caps, very similar action. You can see here for Broadcom, it moved up. Wednesday was the high, and looks like Thursday, Friday, it kind of by Friday it actually pulled back to the 10-day again, and it did close a little bit at the bottom of the range. So at okay, 56%. So that's not too bad. It's in the upper range. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see if we can find support there. Intraday chart here. We did see a bounce towards the end of day, so that's a good sign. So that's where it dropped below the short-term 10-day and then bounced back. So here's the green line. That's the 10-day. So we are just a little bit above it, just a little bit. NVDA, this one looks slightly weaker because yeah, it undercut quite a bit, but it did bounce back. So again, it's trying to hold the 10-day line right now. So it is kind of on the downtrend now because of 4 days in a row it didn't make a new high, and again Wednesday it didn't make a new high, so that's lagging a little bit. AMD, it make a new high on Wednesday, but it pulled back pretty sharp. I took a stab at it on the breakout here, but again shake out pretty fast because I have tight stop. But we'll see if it bounce back here. So this one still look better than other ones because it is above the 10-day. So here's the software group. This one doesn't look very good, unfortunately. 2 weeks ago we pulled back and we tried to bounce, but it has no power the week following. Then it kind of came, close near the bottom of the range. And then this week, same thing. We again didn't make new high. So this is that little bit worrisome because this is starting to counter the normal trend of the index. So I would be a little bit more cautious on definitely on the software side. And here's the downtrend very clear on the top channel line here. It just keep making high like lower highs, and even though it hasn't broke far down apart, but you can see it just keep making little bit slightly lows. So we really need a very powerful day to kind of shake out all these negatives, right? So like a big up day, that comes back to at least halfway the range. That will be very, very positive. So hopefully we see that. Actually, look at this volume here last week, very high here as well. So that's a little bit of concern on Thursday. Yeah, I'm not sure what's contributing to this Wednesday, Thursday volume, but it's really high. So not a good sign. And if you look at this chart, it looks very similar to the index, right? The IGV index. So we make a new high right here, so roughly here, and then it just kind of came down really hard on that 2 days, and then it never really recovered. And now, despite 2 weeks up on the index, on the Nasdaq, we are like near the bottom of the range. So again, this just show a very poor relative strength right here, and we go to Microsoft, we see exactly the same thing. Very poor relative strength. Now it's still holding on to the 10-day very well. It hasn't breaking down to a new recent low yet. Right here was the last low, but so that's a good thing. So like I said, we could have a very positive day, and that could come back up very easily. But that's what we need to see. On the other hand, here we have Google really doing really well right now, shining really like a star, making new highs constantly. This is very positive momentum. I mean, look at the downside volume is really low here. There's much higher volume on the upside. And then here we have Amazon again breaking this trend here that was kind of not moving much at all near the short-term moving average. So it kind of break that downtrend here. And there's some news. So the news is that Amazon will soon offer same-day delivery of perishables in, I don't know if this is correct, but 2,300 US cities and towns by end of this year. Amazon previously offered only perishable items in its Whole Food Amazon Fresh brand. Now they'll be available on Amazon.com with the option to add fresh grocery items to standard orders. And this hurt like other delivery platforms like Card, MapleCard, DoorDash, Uber, and Walmart. So very nice move. Follow through on Friday, making a new high here. So definitely again, doing really well. Another stock that is countering the software trend here is Meta. Again, Meta make a slightly higher high on Friday before reversing. So far it doesn't want to touch the 10-day. Again, this one looking very nice. Look at this low volume on the downside, and then we have again higher volume on the outside. So very strong. Next we have Apple. Apple has bounced back really nice here. Look at the pullback so far, very tight. High action, does not want to come close to where the green line is. Very, very healthy, technically. So last week Tesla broke out right here on Friday. Very nice long trend it broke out from. So are we ready to start coming back on the right side of the base? It did that on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday it did make a also higher high intraday, but then it reversed. So from there, Thursday, Friday, keep pulling back. Now we are back at the 10-day right here. So we need to see support coming in, and that could be a nice handle forming right here, and then before it take off again. So that will be the second buy point right here at the top right here of this high here on Wednesday. So again, if we break out of that, that will be a very powerful move here. Another stock that is kind of showing lots of strength right now is Netflix. We went into this base, we pulled back before at most stocks, and now we are starting to climb back on the right side. And so far, it is finding lots of support at the short-term green line here, 10-day moving average. And then on the red line, we just surpassed it slightly on Friday. Thursday we went through it, it closed near that line, and then Friday it didn't want to give back much, so that's a very good sign. So again, lots of support coming into this stock. Look at the volume on the upside. and then the down day volumes are much lower. So again, this is very good sign. So hopefully, I enter here on Thursday. Let's see if it can continue this momentum. Thank you all for watching this video. Yeah, again, there's lots of changes in my growth stocks list. Please follow that. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And thank you all for watching. Have a good weekend.